Chapter 3. Murphy sat, sipping coffee, as Jimmy bounded through the house, on his way back to school after lunch. Jan silently stood at the sink, mechanically going through the motions as Murphy watched the mini-TV drone on. If he had any sense, he would have been watching cartoons, maybe reruns of Gumby or something. But he was a news junkie. He couldn't get enough information. Now he was about to get too much. On the screen, 2 TV news commentators made a determined effort to show the world who had the most and brightest teeth. Jess Perkins, a bubble-headed blonde who wore her blouses tight, seemed to be in the lead, although co-anchor Casey Wong, a crew-cutted Eurasian, should have gotten some award just for the width of his smile. Casey was doing the talking now. Today's top stories. Pretoria. The threat of nuclear confrontation in South Africa escalated today when the white military government of that besieged city-state unveiled a French-made neutron bomb and affirmed its willingness to use the 3-megaton device as the city's last line of defense. Nice, Murphy muttered, tossing some extra sugar into his coffee. He had a feeling he'd need every ounce of energy he could muster today. His tour of duty ran from the afternoon until after dark. The TV flickered as a videotape of an angry man running a gauntlet of reporters in front of Detroit City Hall appeared. Locally, Perky Jess injected. Ron Miller called it quits today, relinquishing his city council seat after being denied a recount in one of the closest elections in this city's history. The videotape ended, and Murphy found himself staring at the face of Casey Wong. Behind him was superimposed a graphic. The body of a police officer with a red X slashed over it was drawn in a clever, clean, and very commercial manner. It was the type of illustration you saw on a cornflakes box. Murphy felt his chest tighten. He was half expecting this. The police death toll in Old Detroit rose to 31 today, when 3 officers were killed and 1 was critically injured in an exchange of gunfire just before dawn. Murphy heard a dish shatter in the sink behind him. Perky Jess appeared with a human interest story about 3 Moondome kids making rock and roll in space. The news show lurched into a series of commercials. A big busted woman caressed a turbo sedan while singers intoned, "Big is back." A smarmy doctor stressed the convenience of his one-stop clinic for big operations. We have a complete line of Jarvix and limited supplies of the new Jensen Sports Heart. 3-year warranty, complete financing, qualifies for a health tax credit. Murphy sat there, sweating. He could feel Jan standing behind him, gazing at the nape of his neck. Neither one would speak. It was just as well. Anything either one of them said would only make the moment worse. Wong appeared on the screen, continuing the big local story of the day. 3 dead police officers in Old Detroit, 1 critically injured. Police union leaders blame OmniConsumer Products, the firm which recently entered into a contract with the city to fund and run the Detroit Metropolitan Police Department. They claim that, since OmniCon has entered the police business, safety procedures have become lax and most precincts are understaffed. Furthermore, they insist that the investigation into the killings in the Old Detroit sector has been sorely undermanned. Dick Jones, division president of OmniCon, had this response. The thin, angular face of career executive Jones filled the screen. None of the allegations are true. OmniCon is doing its best to run the police force efficiently and smoothly. Every available man is working on the investigation concerning these all too frequent tragedies. The police union apparently would like the public to forget one very simple fact. Every policeman knows the risks he faces in the field. Ask a cop and he'll tell you. If you can't stand the heat, better get out of the kitchen. Murphy smirked silently to himself. Jones's idea of risk was probably ordering his happy hour drink without ice. Jan slammed a coffee cup down in the sink and rushed out of the room, holding back the tears. Murphy turned off the television and sat silently, staring at the idiotic patterns on the Formica tabletop before him. Who the hell designed these tables anyway? The Lighthouse Institute? He sighed and got to his feet. No sense trying to calm Jan down right now. She was too upset to talk. He headed for the front door. He'd call her later and try to discuss her feelings logically. He hoped that, by dinner time, he could think of a few logical things to tell her. Right now, nothing in his life was making too much sense. Right now, he was heading into old Detroit.